So here's some homework help for our homework on February 2nd. We've been working with our 4 by 2 digit division. We're still going to use that same 4-step checklist here, our mental strategies here. But what we're doing is slightly different with our decimals in here as we move into some 5th grade material. So it's very important that we follow this first step before we actually get into it. And it's just the language that we're going to be using. And when you talk to your child tonight, use the same kind of language. So here we have our zoomed in problem here. We have 18 and 59 hundredths divided by 1 and 3 tenths. This kind of makes it a little tough because 1 and 3 tenths, when we say it, we can't really give this away to 1 and 3 tenths of a person. So it makes it a little silly to sound that way. So we're going to actually do something most of you probably have done when you were this age. So we're going to actually shift the decimal over here, and we're going to do the same thing to both sides because these are like brothers and sisters here. So I'm going to shift my decimal over past my 3 here to make the number 13, and then I'm going to do the same thing here in my number 18 and 59 hundredths, and I'm going to shift it over. Now it becomes 185 and 9 tenths there. And so now everything is in tenth. That's our unit form when we're dividing that by 13 here. So it's very important that we keep that tenths in mind as we shift our decimal back in the end there. So here now we can go back to our 4-step process here where we're taking our first step here, looking if we can multiply by 1,000 here. So all we're doing is taking this 13 here. Alright, and we're using that's our divisor, and we're basically trying to, rationale is trying to give out to 13 people here what we have. So we start off with 1,000s. Well, in our problem, we really don't have 13 thousandths to give away. So what we've been trying to do is to show 13 times 1,000 is 13,000, but we don't have 13,000 in here. We have, for all intents and purposes, 1,859. We don't have enough to give away. So first off of that, we can't even give that amount away, and we can't do that step. So we move to our second step. Can I multiply by 100? So if I do 13 times 100, I get 1,300. And I have enough hundreds to give out. Right here in this problem, I have 18 hundreds, so I can give 13 hundreds away. And I'm going to subtract them out as I'm giving them away. So 9 minus 0 is 9, 5 minus 0 is 5, 8 minus 0 is 5, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So now I'm left with 559 that I can still give away. But we've been asking ourselves, well, I can't really give out another 1,300 out of my 559. So I can't take that step out, or I can't use that step anymore. I have to go to my next step. So can I multiply by 10? Well, I can multiply 13 times 10, and that equals 130. I can take small chunks of those 10s out and give them away. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to subtract here. 9 minus 0 is 9, 5 minus 3 is 2, 5 minus 1 is 4, and 0 minus nothing is 4. But one thing I forgot to put on here that your children tend to do as well is we forgot to put our pieces that we're actually taking out and what we're multiplying by. So in this first step here, I multiplied by 100, so I have to show that because we're going to add those up at the end to get to our answer there. This one I multiplied by 10, and I'm going to do another 10 here and subtract my 130 from. And so I subtract this out. I have to borrow here, and I get 299. I'm going to do it again. And I get 9, 6, and 1. I'm going to do it one more time. And I end up with 39. Okay. So here, now that I can't give away any more 130s, I have to go to my last step, and that's can I skip count. I'm going to take my original divisor of 13, and I'm going to skip count by 13. So we've been getting this habit of drawing 13 dots out, or whatever that divisor is, so we can skip count by that number. So I have 13 out there. My first one obviously is 13, so I'm skip counting by that. And I'm going to count up 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 is my next one. And then I can keep going. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. So I did get to my 39, and I have to count how many skip counts that I have. I had 1, 2, and 3, so I'm going to multiply by 3. So basically I'm giving out those ones to those 13 different people 3 different times. And I do 13 times 3, which is 39, subtract, and I'll get 0. The point is with these problems to get to 0 or as close as possible to 0. We hope to get that. Now I have to do my last step here where I actually have to add up all my pieces. So I had 100 up at top that I multiplied. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens, which is the same thing as 40. And then I have 3 ones. So if I add those all together, I get 143. Now, I'm not done with that problem yet. What I have to do is take that number up to the very top. And I'm going to place it up here, just like I normally would. But I'm going to, oops, made an error, 143. But basically, since I'm dealing with 185 and 9 tenths, this is really 14 and 3 tenths. So I have to make sure I put my decimal point in between there. Since it's shifted over one spot from the right, I have to do the same thing with my number over here. So I end up with 14 and 3 tenths as our answer. Hope this helps.